ones that like were circulating, like actors might like publish it from their memory. Like they might try and make some money by like if they remember the whole play that they could perform it, they might try and make some money by like writing it all down and then publishing it. But it might obviously that was the thing like
I heard it.